because what Jordan Peterson is trying to do is to say to people, you feel bad about your life. The problem is that like you're not cleaning your room and that you're challenging authority and questioning the system too much, which is like a really dangerous piece of advice to give.
Man. People. Like real talk. I'm gonna give you real talk. I was doing a little radio thing out here in San Francisco, and this dude was kind of echoing some Jordan Petersonisms when it came to Venezuela. This was a year or two ago, and it was kind of enraging me because I was like, you don't even know anything about Venezuela. Like, you think Venezuela is this magical communist land, and you don't understand there's capitalism there. And he said something else that was like a Jordan Peterson quote. I can't remember what it was, about Marx.
Oh, classic, yeah.
And the greatest thing Jordan Peterson ever said was, and I know Burgess talks about this a lot, was that whole thing about, when these cats tell you that that's not real Marxism, that's not real Stalinism, it's their way of saying, well, I could do it better. And there's something about that, because a lot of the people that may sprout off, like we were saying earlier, can come off a certain kind of way.
Yeah. I mean, no,
dickish.
Well, that's definitely true. And also, like, look, I mean, I don't run away from like the reality of what happened there. Like I'm a big fan of Lenin. I'll just say that. But look, I think we can all recognize what happened in the Soviet Union, especially under Stalin, was a disaster, and that's honestly even like a small way to put it. I think it's important for us to be able to deal with that criticism, actually, and to think through it. And what's frustrating, what I see right now on the left more and more, is a complete refusal to actually even deal with the charge. That is actually your tradition. Like this is a little bit of a nuanced argument that sometimes gets me into trouble. But I consider that to be my tradition, as in a bad sense, and something that I have to like have answer to and think about and question. Like, why did a group of people who were trying to institute something that was supposed to alleviate suffering create so much suffering for so many people? Right? That's a challenge. That's a serious charge. Hell, we're trying to change the world. We should be able to think through complicated questions like that. But you get all these people who refuse to do it. They just they wipe it away. Because look, they did a lot in the Soviet Union too that was very beneficial. And you need to understand where the bad came from. Because I don't know, like, I think the Jordan Peterson stuff is bad faith criticism.
Yes.
But honestly, that's the closest thing to truth that I've ever heard from Jordan Peterson.
It's really simplistic and all that shit. And when I came at the guy with a more, and I was a little angry, nuanced critique of what he was trying to say, and just taking Venezuela as the argument, like, okay, we can talk about Stalinist Russia all you want to, but let's take something that's way more current, which is the Bolivarian project.
Yeah.
You want to talk about UBI? That motherfucker was instituting a UBI for housewives.
Yep.
That's what equality looks like. And so we're having this conversation, and I said something mean about Jordan Peterson. I was like, oh, you read that bullshit because you just want to fucking go clean your room. I said, you need somebody to tell you to clean your room. And he looked at me very seriously, and he goes, sometimes I need people to tell me to clean my room.
Oh, man.
And it fucked my head up.
Yeah, dude.
Because I wasn't ready for someone to be that honest.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I don't want to overstate it, but that's definitely like, no, I mean, I'm telling you, that's like Adorno. Go back to Adorno. That's like, the kind of like fascist mentality. Not necessarily accusing this person of being a fascist because they said they like to take orders, but like that kind of need is definitely like a dangerous part of society, and that's why people like Jordan Peterson and hell, even Donald Trump, can be successful, because there is a part of people who want that.
To hear the rest of this show and more, go to This Is Revolution Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud, and wherever else you get your podcasts. This is Revolution.